The aircraft, which can control large areas much more effectively than surface ships, is one of the indispensables of modern navies. The P-8 Poseidon will undertake important tasks in the air control of the seas for the next 50 years, starting from the days when the first steps of the Second Cold War were taken. Although the P-8 has significant advantages over the P-3 Orion it replaces, can it be described as the representative of the new generation of marine patrol aircraft? As the weapon detective, we are investigating the answer of this question. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel before we start. The Second Cold War to start hard on the seas. The Chinese sea power is growing rapidly. It has been accelerating its investments in Russia's navy since the early 2010s. Many countries that have a coast to the Indian Ocean have begun to take submarines into their inventory that they did not have before. All these facts once again increased the importance of the maritime patrol aircraft like the P-8, which had fallen into the background with the end of the First Cold War. Just before that, in order to replace the P-3s that carried all the weight of patrol force for so long and starting to suffer from metal fatigue of fuselage, the U.S. Navy was in the need of a new aircraft. However, after the collapse of the Soviet Empire, the Western world, which gained its dominance in the seas, had not witnessed any significant development in this area for a long time. Because of the changing mission definition with the end of the First Cold War, the program progressed slowly. In 2000, the USA asked Boeing and Lockheed Martin to design a new aircraft with superior maritime patrol, command and control, electronic intelligence gathering, and ground attack capabilities than the P-3. In 2004, Boeing became the winner of the program with the P-8 Poseidon. The design of the aircraft is based on the proven fuselage of the Boeing 737-800 and the wings of the Boeing 737-900. In 2005, Boeing announced that the design of the wingtips of the P-8 was changed from the blended winglet to a backswept wingtip. The aircraft performed its maiden flight on April 25, 2009. 3 years later, the first production P-8A was delivered to the U.S. Navy. In addition to the USA, the aircraft is already preferred by Australia, India, New Zealand, Norway, South Korea and the UK. The 9-man crew of the P-8A Poseidon consists of pilot, co-pilot, and 7 mission system operators. The aircraft has nearly 39.5 meters length, 37.6 meters wingspan, and 13 meters height. Its empty weight is about 62.7 tons, while its maximum takeoff weight is about 85.1 tons. Two 120.1 kN CFM56 7B27A turbofan engines provide nearly 900 km/h maximum speed. The aircraft can climb the altitude of the 12,500 meters. The P-8A has 5 internal bays and 6 external hardpoints for Harpoon anti-ship missiles, Mark 54 torpedoes, mines, and depth charges. Except for the I versions for India, the P-8s do not have a magnetic anomaly detector, MAD for short. A mass of ferromagnetic material, such as a submarine, creates a detectable disturbance in the Earth's magnetic field. MAD is a tool that can detect this ailment, so it is extremely effective for finding a submerged submarine. The U.S. Navy claims that acoustic sensor system of the aircraft is reportedly more effective at acoustic tracking and thus lacking a MAD won't impede its detection capabilities. However, it is reported that the U.S. Navy is developing a variant of an unmanned aerial vehicle, called the High Altitude Unmanned Targeting Air System, which can carry a MAD sensor and transmit its findings back up to the P-8. The Poseidon can already operate in conjunction with the MQ-4C Triton maritime surveillance unmanned aerial vehicle. The Arena PY-10 radar of the aircraft it can detect an object with a cross-sectional area of 54 square meters, in Sea State 3. It can also detect an object with a radar cross-sectional area of 10,000 square meters from a range of 370 kilometers. The radar allows tracking 256 targets simultaneously, including small ones such as periscope. The PS-149 lateral surveillance radar system of the P-8 will be replaced by the Advanced Airborne Sensor, shortly AES radar, which was designed to provide multifunction moving target detection and tracking and high-resolution ground mapping at standoff ranges covering land, littoral, and water areas. With near 360-degree coverage, it has a double-sided active electronically scanned array radar which contains a moving target indicator, synthetic aperture radar, and inverse synthetic aperture radar. Synthetic aperture radar can create two-dimensional images or three-dimensional reconstructions of objects. Inverse synthetic aperture radar is a radar technique using radar imaging to generate a two-dimensional high-resolution image of a target. It has a significant role aboard maritime patrol aircraft to provide them with radar image of sufficient quality to allow it to be used for target recognition purposes. Moving target indication is a mode of operation of a radar to discriminate a target against the clutter and find moving objects. Thus the AES can scan, detect, map, track, and classify targets nearly simultaneously on land and at sea at the same time. The radar can profile vessels from a long distance and generate fine resolution without relying on optical sensors, especially in day or night and in adverse weather conditions. It is claimed that the AES is sensitive enough to pick up a formation of people moving over open terrain. The Indian Poseidons, called P-8I, has MOD, so this model is therefore 1.5 meters longer. The Orion PS-143 Ocean Eye synthetic aperture radar of the aircraft can scan in 360 degrees and detect a target with a cross-section of 1 square meter at a range of 370 kilometers. The P-8 can loiter at a speed of 333 km per hour over the sea at 60 meters. The aircraft can use only the boom in-flight refueling method. Australia, South Korea and the USA have the tanker aircraft with boom system. The 4 users of the Poseidon do not have the ability to extend the endurance of these aircraft by in-flight refueling. However, Norway will acquire one a 330 MRTT which has also boom system. The Royal New Zealand Air Force does not use this type of aircraft. India operates only IL-78s which are not suitable for its P-8s. None of the RAF Voyager KC-2 and KC-3s are fitted with the aerial refueling boom system. However, in 2016, the UK stated an interest in the idea of fitting this system to at least some of the tanker aircraft fleet. The real operational experience of the P-8 so far has been considerably smooth. The US P-8 does regularly patrol near China. In 2014, the Chinese J-11 fighter came within 30 feet of a US P-8A about 250 kilometers east of Hainan Island while patrolling the South China Sea. Additionally, a Pentagon spokesperson said the J-11's unit had made close intercepts earlier that year. Naturally, these events have made USA anxious because the dangerous maneuvers the Chinese aircraft carried out at close range reminded the P-3E, which was forced to land in Hainan in a similar way in 2001. The Poseidon worries the rivals of the USA at the other end of the world. In 2016, a Russian Su-30 fighter intercepted dangerously a P-8. There is a reason why the Russian Air Force is acting so harshly. According to the military blog The Aviationist, in 2016 Poseidons were engaged 1 or 2 Oscar-class submarines in the Mediterranean. Unlike the USA, India's experiences are not on the sea but on the land. The Indian Poseidons were used for observing the Claim standoff near China border and Pulwama standoff near Pakistan border. It is useful to make a note here. The use of maritime patrol aircraft on land is not a new situation. In 1987, a singlet Lanique was operated by France as an airborne headquarters during Operation Epavia, the French intervention against Libyan military units which had been deployed into neighboring Chad. Also, during the 1999 Kosovo War, France used these aircraft for surveillance missions over the Serbia. Even, in 2013, French Navy Atlantique IIs dropped laser-guided GBU-12 bombs on jihadist militants in Mali. In 2015, these aircraft bombed ISIL targets in Syria. Like at Lanique's, the US P-3s were used for battle space surveillance on land over Iraq in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Also, the Pakistani Orions conducted same mission during the Kargil conflict. Of course, there are so many other examples. But briefly, the use of maritime patrol aircraft on land is increasing day by day. In fact, the USA realized this situation and demanded that the ground observation ability of the aircraft was high during the development of the P-8s. As we mentioned, the design of the aircraft is based on the proven Boeing 737 commercial airliner. But we want to draw attention to something. The P-3 was based on the L-188 Electra, which made its first flight in 1957. Thus, you can see that considering the overall plane design, the P-8 has only a 10-year advantage over the P-3. Still, this is a wise choice. More than 10,000 have been produced from this aircraft, which made its first flight in 1967. Development proceeded relatively smoothly, in part due to the use of a pre-existing airframe and the decision to phase in the P-8's advanced systems in a series of increments rather than delivering them all at once. This led the P-8's unit costs to actually come in under budget. In addition, the fact that the US Navy has been already using the Boeing 737-based C-40 Clipper brought with it a significant logistical advantage. This also applies to other P-8 users. Australia, South Korea, and the UK user of the E-7 early warning and command aircraft, which is also Boeing 737 based. In fact, the successful commercial airliner Boeing 737 was not used as a military maritime patrol aircraft for the first time. Before the P-8, in 1982, Indonesia modified 3 Boeing 737s for this mission due to hinder pirate activities. Unlike the Poseidon, however, these planes, called Boeing 737-2X9 Surveyor or Punic, do not have a weapon capacity. Apart from military users, 5 airlines in Australia have more than 150 Boeing 737s. 4 companies with 118 aircraft in India, 2 companies with 13 aircraft in New Zealand, 2 companies with 162 aircraft in Norway, 5 companies with 106 aircraft in South Korea, 5 companies with 134 aircraft in the UK, and 15 companies with 1,780 aircraft in the USA. Need to add. Considering these numbers and the global success of the Boeing 737, the P-8 is one of the easiest maintainable military aircraft in the world, providing easy access to spare parts and technical personnel. But it is too big for many countries that do not have a coast to the oceans and are interested in procuring new sea patrol aircraft. So, despite obvious advantages of the P-8, they would prefer smallest platform based on light cargo aircraft, regional airliner, or business jets. As you see, the P-8 is not a new generation maritime patrol aircraft. It's just a successful good old airliner equipped with next generation electronic and combat systems. These new generation electronic systems can also be integrated into many different aircraft. So, they can also have the abilities of the P-8 by sacrificing a bit of combat radius and weapon carrying capacities. Thanks for watching our new video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.